Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. I'm very excited to have us today Aisha Bursell from Bursell and Sec, along with her team, Leah Kaplan and Melton Parlock. Now, some of you, if you came to our annual conference 2 years ago, Aisha was our keynote and gave us an uplifting, inspirational talk that really made us all feel great about our aging process. And one of the things that I've followed her for a while, I'm stalking you, I say. I've been following her unique work by bringing design elements into social connections. And social connections and social isolation are something that so many of us are talking about in the aging field, but it's very hard to figure out what and how to address it and what to do. So I'm so glad that they are joining us today to talk about this unique program that they piloted in Alaska, of all places, where I would love to be today in this heat. So I'm going to turn it over to you. I really appreciate you joining us, and take it away.
Thank you, Kathy. It's such a pleasure to be here. You're one of our first champions, and like you said, you put us on the map. And with your conference and today giving us this opportunity to share our most recent work in aging with everyone. And thank you, everyone, for coming. Some of you are new friends, some of you are old friends, and I'm just delighted. Um, Kathy was saying there's what 95 people registered, Kathy, almost 100 people. So let's see, people will come in as their schedule allows. I also have two of my dearest collaborators, Leah Kaplan here. Leah, if you want to wave, who's who's my creative partner and VP of Design at Bursell Plus Sec, and Melton Parlock, who's a senior, amazing designer and design strategist, and often my co-host on our virtual tea. So some of you also know her from there. Okay, without further ado, let me share my screen and I'll talk, and of course it'll be a visual talk, and share with you the presentation that Leah, Melton, and I put together. So welcome everyone to Design Connections. We're empowering older adults against loneliness and isolation through design thinking. And today, can you share, you can hear me, but can you also see the slides move?
Yes.
Great. Today, I'll try to talk for about 40 minutes around the challenge, our story, the solution that we're creating, the pilot we've done in Alaska, the results, and a call for participation, and then we'll open it to Q&A. As you know, there's an epidemic of loneliness and isolation going on. And the Surgeon General reported on this in 2023. And it has profound negative health outcomes on a par with smoking and obesity. And older adults are at particular risk. Why older adults? Because when we're younger, there are all these social constructs from the playground at our youngest, all the way through school, work, and family, hobbies, you name it, that provide us places to make social connections and friends. But as we age, those social constructs recede or start to disappear, and our old friends also move or pass. And we need to make new friends after 60. So these social constructs need to be invented by people like us. And when the Surgeon General's report came out, we heard that, Leah and I and Melton, as a call to action. We're going to see if we can invent a new social construct. And who are we to do this? We are an industrial design and innovation studio based in New York and now in Paris as well. And you've probably held something that we've designed or sat on it. Maybe you didn't even know it, for people for like Herman Miller and Toyota, Target, IKEA, Toto, you name it. And so the red thread, you know, I've written books about how to apply you know, our process deconstruction, reconstruction to our life and our long life. And in this process is the red thread across all our work. We deconstruct things, taking the whole apart so that we can see the same things differently and create a new point of view, so that we can then put it back, reconstruct it, knowing we can't have everything. So it's really important what we're going to choose in this new reconstruction, and then we express it, give it form. And when we invite people to design their life, which we feel is our most important project, we share deconstruction, reconstruction with them. And we've done this with people as you know, young as 13 and 90 plus. So Design Connections builds on this expertise, and it's an intervention that employs human-centered design tools and principles and process to decrease loneliness and increase resilience with people, whether they're individuals, groups, or communities. And we've been doing this work for a while. Leah and Matam, I want to say it's almost been 10 years. And it started when Leah and I had kids who were really young, and there were so many things for our kids. And we had aging parents. There was so little for our parents. And we thought, this is not fair. We want to design better services and products for our parents as well. In a way, we saw our future selves in our parents. And so that work got us first to doing co-design with older adults, with Amazon, and then with the SCAN Foundation. And the work with Amazon was around co-designing life with older Americans to extend independent living. It turns out that independent living and people over 60 was one of the 7 global projects for Amazon. So that was our starting point. We did Design the Life You Love 60 plus with people who were 60 to 90. And then another group that was their caregivers, and another group in nursery homes. And then through that work, we were then connected with the SCAN Foundation, who also plays a big role in this project, as you will see. But the CEO at the time of the SCAN Foundation was Bruce Chernoff, and he invited us to do a year-long study on aging in America, and asking older adults to come be designers with us for a day. And we did this together with Leah and Matam, actually, where we've traveled from New York, the East Coast, to the West Coast, to LA, and San Diego, and then to the South Mississippi. And we invited people to come design their life and subsets of their life. And then we created a report out of that, which you might have seen. And what we've learned is that people, no matter what their age, they still want the same things: love, vitality, work, and friendship. And then it was funny, because just as we were finishing this amazing research, and I'm just kind of like, Leah and Matam, if there are things that I'm forgetting to mention or going fast, just chime in. But just as we were finishing, and I remember having a breakfast with Bruce Chernoff at the end of the study, and we said, this was amazing. And probably the best thing that we've done is every time we brought these people together, these amazing, creative older adults together, they wanted to stay together, that we had these friendship factories. And but before we could do anything, we were homebound because COVID hit, and we couldn't continue as we hoped to continue. And so what was I going to do? With Leah's encouragement, I wrote my second book, Design the Long Life You Love. And then really with this principle that it doesn't matter how young or old we are, we still want the same things: love, vitality, work, and friendship. But what's different is how we can achieve them. And what we realized, there are four insights. And if you were at Kathy's conference 2 years ago, you might remember these, but there's four transformations that happens as we age. One is in love. We go through from selfless love to self-love. Beautiful. The other one is in terms of our purpose. All our life, we have ready-made purpose, work, school, family. But then as we age, we need to create our self-made purpose. Our well-being, sense of well-being also changes, where when we're younger, it's our bodies over mind. And then in midlife, it kind of body and mind are more or less equal to each other. But as we get older, it's mind over body. And I think some of you who are here can attest to that. And then the transformation of friendship, as I mentioned, the need to, in addition to our old friends, to have fresh friends. That's what we call our new friends. And our realization with Bruce Chernoff and with Leah and Maltam and our team, that our process lend itself to becoming factories of friendship. So you have to understand, because we are industrial designers, we manufacture things with, or we design things to be manufactured, I should say. So we understand how things are manufactured, and we realize that our sessions were factories of friendship, where you could literally manufacture friendships, new, fresh friendships. And what it took was to bring people together in the same space, time, over a design process. And so here we are, we come out of COVID, and we start talking about we need to continue to create these factories of friendship. And then the report on loneliness and isolation from the Surgeon General comes. We don't have to explain the problem anymore. Everybody understands that this is a huge epidemic with huge health repercussions. But there are not many solutions out there. And we felt like we had a solution. And I was invited to speak at the US Aging Conference right after Kathy, yours actually. And I presented the findings from our long life research and book. And then I met this wonderful person from the AAA in Alaska. And just like Kathy, you said it so naturally, I said the same thing. I want to go to Alaska. Could we do something together? And that became the beginning of us taking Design Connections, this new idea, to the north, to perhaps the most isolated state in the United States, right? So it was Kathy Swartz at Matsu Health Foundation who invited us to do our pilot. We're forever grateful to her. So we piloted Design Connections with the Matsu Health Foundation. when was it? It was the spring of 2024. Time goes by so fast, and it was in April, when they call it the breakup, when the ice melts and the weather was, warm enough for us to go there. And I'll cut to the chase. The evaluation showed statistically significant increases in participants' sense of purpose and happiness, and significant decreases in their loneliness. And that's why we're here to talk with you, because we find this, result amazing, and we want to continue. So now I'll take you through the healthy aging through community connections, the work we did together, and you'll see some of the participants in our slides. This amazing group, extraordinarily creative people who gave us a chance. There were 40 participants, ages 55 to 87. The program was 100% participation. These people came in two groups of 20, 4 sessions, 1 session a week for 4 weeks in Mat-Su, Alaska. So they did not drop out. I think that's pretty incredible. And the evaluation as well was 83% attended. So there was a baseline before, a T2 right after, and a T3 post-session after 3 months, and was done by the UCLA Health Equity Group. If you've done research, you know that 83% is pretty amazing. And the demographics was 81% female, 83% white. So why? When we, not knowing Alaska, thought we were going to Alaska, and we had learned that Anchorage is the most diverse city in the whole of the United States, we thought that we were going to have something incredibly diverse. Except Mat-Su is not Anchorage, and Mat-Su's community, which is where we invited people from, was 83% white. So just the way it happens. And 50% of these people lived alone, 40% lived in a household of 2, so empty nesters. And I don't see all my numbers, but because of the Zoom, but 74% are retired, and 17% worked part-time, 10% worked full-time. And personality-wise, this was something that Leah made sure we asked people, 50% outgoing extrovert, 17% shy and introvert. This is how they self-identify, and 33% half and half, kind of like me. And this is Kathy Swartz introducing us for the first time, and the program overview. So let me give you a sense, a taste for what this program looks like. Session 1 is the foundations of design process, where we teach these people how to design meaningful connections using design tools, and combined with their creativity. Session 2, session 1, I should say, the outcome is a letters to self, which I'll share with you in a second. And then based on their letter to self, or kind of like manifesto for making social connections, they come back and they make an action plan, because we want them to think about, okay, now that I have this idea of how to make social connections, how do I actually activate that and bring that to life? Session 3 is then mapping out their favorite places to connect in Mat-Su, because often friendship factories, right? You have to be in the same place at the same time around a similar interest. So we need to show them where those places are. And then session 4 was around a potluck, which again was Leah's idea. She's a foodie. If you know Leah, you understand why a potluck matters. But it also turns out that was a beloved activity in Alaska. And what better than to break bread together to build trust and celebrate? So just a couple of elements to frame how this program works. One is the mindset. We ask people to think like designers with optimism, no matter how hard the problem, we can solve it together. Empathy for ourselves and each other, thinking holistically, seeing the big picture so we can connect the dots in new and different ways, asking what if questions, which is all about having an open mind, and we're collaborating together, a different way of saying we're helping each other come up with better ideas. Then our point of view, most point of view around aging is reductionist. You age and something goes wrong. Our point of view, which we prove through this process, is an expansionist one, which is no matter how hard the problem, you can come up with a better solution. And that optimism is all about continuing to learn, continuing to create with older people, and they are simply amazing. The other piece of it is, what does our process really do? It takes people from their real self, the problem state, the problem state, our challenges, our constraints, into their ideal state, ideal self, the one that has their hopes, aspirations, what they can imagine. So, which is totally what design does, right? Design solves problems to get us to a better, safer, more comfortable, more joyful state. So when you apply that to your life, and to your social connections, we first connect you to your ideal self through design process and tools. Then step number 2, in your ideal self, science and psychology and neuroscience shows us that you are more open-minded, opportunity aware, and optimistic. And we call this the 3 O's. So when you're in your 3 O's, you then find opportunities to connect in our workshops with other people, ideal self to ideal self. And from that, you can form communities of empathy and optimism. So this is what the pilot set out to show and prove. And to be able to do this, you have to first connect with yourself, and then you connect with others. And then reciprocity is at the heart of what we do. It's inherent in our process. And again, I mentioned Leah, Matam. Our team is all about reciprocity. There are 2 kinds of reciprocity. One is people who come into the workshop, they collaborate. And as I mentioned, we call it collaboration, but it's all about helping each other. So we create opportunities every step of the way for people to help each other and open up their minds and collaborate. But the other piece of it is we collaborate with them, they collaborate with us. We're learning from them as we're teaching them our design process. And this is a problem-solving process that they can use for life. That's the other reciprocity. And I can't go forward without mentioning that these people have, when I say these people, older adults, which now include me, we have crystallized intelligence, and it comes from our years of experience in living. And so, as one person in our pilot said, when you put all the people that came to our sessions and their years together, it added up to 2,800 years of wisdom in the room and the creativity that goes with that. Okay, how are we doing on time, Matam and Leah? Because I'm not looking at my watch. Are we good?
We're good.
Okay, Matam is the Swiss clock. Some of you will remember. So here are some of the amazing people who joined us. And what did we have them do first? We had them draw each other as a creative warm-up. And this is one of the things we love about our workshops. We always start with a portrait exercise, and it terrifies people because most people haven't drawn anything since they were 5 years old. And it's an immediate way to get people back to that their childhood selves, where they're not afraid of making mistakes. They're laughing and they're drawing each other. It breaks the ice like nothing else. And by the way, it is a magical exercise. When you draw someone else, you plant the seeds of friendship right then and there. So each session started with a portrait exercise, and every time they came, they drew someone else, and then they exchanged their portraits, which again was a gift to each other. Again, another seed for friendship. And the first session I mentioned, they work through different prompts around thinking about who they are, their superpowers, their kryptonite, what their values are, what their challenges and opportunities are, all in the context of their social connections. And from that, they write a manifesto, a letter to self. And once they have that, it's like a roadmap for what they want to do. It comes from them. We're not telling them what they need to do or want to do. They write it themselves, and they write beautifully. So then once they do that, we say, please come back, and then we'll write, we'll create an action plan together. And they, as I mentioned, 100% participation. They did come back a week later, and then they found this cookie jar, an empty cookie jar, the size of a huge wall. And then we gave everybody Post-its, and we said, please write down your three expertises. Basically, we filled up the cookie jar with their cookies because you probably know this, but as we age, opportunities to share what we're good at diminishes. So we don't have many opportunities to say, oh, I'm very good at gardening, or I'm excellent at accounting, or I am a therapist, I can coach. I'm very good at teaching people how to, make simple food that's delicious. They put all of that out, and we do these lightning rounds that make sure that everybody participates in the conversation. They all hear from each other, and they learn. They have that opportunity that, oh, you're good at gardening, and that, I need help with my garden, and that becomes a conversation starter. The third session, I'm not showing you everything because, well, I hope I'll have the opportunity with Leah and Matam to show you everything and teach you how to do this. But for now, this is the third session. So then they come back and they find the same wall, but now with a map of their environment. And we say, please put up 3 places that you love connecting with other people. And this creates a great, and you'll see it, I'll share the film in a moment, but a great commotion, and people put up their favorite places to socialize. But then that also becomes a conversation. Oh, you go there, I go there. Why don't we go there together? Or I've never been to that library. Why don't we go together? And before you know it, people are exchanging phone numbers and times, and and something magical starts. Come the fourth session, we asked people, so what did you think? Was there a transformation? And they said yes. So we said, why don't we capture that? Fill or complete this sentence for us. You are more what now? And they said, I am braver, I am more courageous, I'm happier, I'm more appreciative of old friends. I'm not going to tell you everything, but you can read it. I'm more aware of people's uniqueness. I'm more humbled and inspired, and I'm more grateful. I'm calmer about my future. Beautiful. And they gave us these beautiful kind of nuggets of wisdom that we collected, and then we're creating what would you call it? Kind of a repository of wisdom. And I'll show you just 3 for today. But one of the things that we kept on hearing, again, we're not telling them what to do. They're telling us what they will do. They said, we're going to go with a smile. It's a way of saying, open your mind and heart. And they put this to practice. We had stories where they said, since we started working together, I've been living next to my neighbor for decades and I never talked to them. And this one person said, I actually went towards them with a smile and introduced myself. And that, that was an immediate connection. So going with a smile, wisdom nugget two is give a compliment or a gift or a flower or a cookie. And, let that be the beginning of a conversation. And then wisdom three is we all have things that slow us down when we're making social connections. But they said, know what those things are and go around them. Go around what slows you down and find remedies. So, and we have at least another, we have a list of 12, and then they've added to those 12, we shared it with them. So we have an ongoing list that we expect to grow as we do more sessions. And again, here they are. But now I'm going to show you a film. And before I do that, let me make sure that my sound is on. No, it's not. Okay. Wow. Matam, I hope you're impressed. I figured out how to do this.
Healthy aging through community connections.
In here.
Design Connections workshops to reduce social isolation and support healthy aging in the Matanuska-Susitna Borough of Alaska by Aisha Bursell, the Mat-Su Council on Aging, and the Mat-Su Health Foundation.
So this workshop or program is called Design Connections, and it's about teaching people how to think like a designer to create social connections intentionally.
Social isolation and loneliness among older adults affects health and well-being.
As I get older and dealing with loss, I'm not quite sure how to interact with the world around me. So how to live the long life you love was just what I needed. I mean, it really helped me transform my life.
All right, welcome to Design Connections. So glad you're here.
Socially connected people are happier, healthier, and live longer.
It's only 4 days over 4 weeks, but it's seeing the evolution of people and confidence of people and doing things maybe they thought they couldn't do.
It's encouraged me to go deeper with people and to enjoy the moment more.
This workshop helps people understand what it is that they love about life. And then it gives them the tools to take however many steps are needed to make it happen.
Aisha and the group has made everything so comfortable and fun.
I think one highlight of the workshop for me is people who demonstrate aging with grace find a supportive crowd. And, to face the future with optimism.
What I would tell somebody who's considering whether or not to attend the workshop is that they should just do it.
Just do it. You'll have so much fun.
Go. Absolutely go to this workshop if you have an opportunity to go.
It's a program to support the development and the skills that older adults can use to develop more, stronger, and better social connections as a way to support community resilience here in the Mat-Su.
Give it a try, take a risk. Maybe you'll find something there you didn't know was missing.
Evaluation shows a measurable increase in sense of purpose and happiness and a decrease in loneliness. Thank you to all the Mat-Su residents who participated in the workshops.
Yay! So, outcome. I gave the ending away in the beginning, but the program participants reported statistically significant increases in their sense of purpose, their sense of happiness, and a statistically significant decrease in loneliness in the T2 and T3 evaluations by UCLA Health Equity Program. The reason this is so important is it gives us the wherewithal to continue, also because it was a pilot program. Our Catherine Kietzman is here, who's our partner on the evaluation, and Catherine was very encouraging from the get-go. But Catherine, if I could say it for you, really happy with the results, especially because we had only 40 people. So I don't know if you want to say anything, unmute for a second. And I'll put you on the spot. All right.
Can you hear me?
Maybe. Oh, yeah. Yes, please.
Sorry. I think you said it very well. I mean, this is a pilot program. So when you're evaluating at this stage, having such a small group and having these kinds of results, which the numbers may look a little small, but actually the change over time is statistically significant, as I shared with you. I think that, you know, the other pieces that are just as important are what Aisha has been illustrating through this whole presentation. And it's just the observation of how people coalesced around this, around their ideas, around, you know, working from within and then extending out to each other. So I was able to be physically in Alaska for the beginning of the workshop and then receive the data over time. And it really is very exciting to see a program which is very much needed. And it's really taking a creative and innovative approach to working with people where they are to move forward in their own sense of well-being and connection. So thank you, Aisha. So great to be here and to see this continuing to be promoted and shared. And I'm looking forward to the next opportunity to work together.
Me too, and us too. Thank you so much for Catherine for sharing your thoughts so beautifully. And the qualitative assessment in T3, this is again Catherine's work, where people said they made connections with people in the workshop, outside of the workshop, and that's the music to our ears, right? That they interact with a more diverse group of people, saying yes more often, that they're better listeners. In fact, one of the wisdoms that I didn't include was you have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. And you know, all the way to I'm reaching out to existing connections more frequently. So, and not only that, we've learned later, about 9 months after the program, that the program was still continuing in a self-sustaining manner and self-perpetuating, where the Mat-Su team emailed us and said there's about a subcommittee of 14 to 15 people who launched an initiative called Call and Connect, and they're reaching out to everyone who had participated in the pilot program, and they've created a Facebook group. So, wow. I mean, that's exactly what we would have hoped, and to see that come to life without any input from us speaks volumes, I think, to the program, and also to this the resilience, creativity, and capability of this older community. So we have a report. We're calling it Facing the Future with Optimism. And Catherine Swartz wrote it, and I worked with her, and Leah and Maltam designed it. So this is actually supposed to give you a little taste, and full of, you know, details of everything that I'm sharing with you. And then we also have a facilitator's guide, which which you'll know as we talk about the call for participation, is our plan for how to scale this beyond the pilot so that we can teach everybody who's interested how to do this, and so that we can create a formal trial. So here we come. The call for participation, and I'll conclude this in 2 more minutes. So thank you for hanging, till the end with us. But energized and encouraged by the results of the pilot, we're now setting out to do a multi-site formal trial with health systems in the United States to serve significant populations of low to moderate income older adults. And the benefits to you participating organizations is, as I mentioned, staff training and design thinking methodologies through our facilitators guide, which Leah created and Meltem designed, which really makes the whole process incredibly accessible, so that it has broader utility in patient experience initiatives, and you don't have to be a designer to deliver it, with improved patient outcomes, opportunities for publication and recognition, and being part of the study, and the potential integration with other value-based care initiatives. And the criteria for participation is, I mentioned, health systems with well-developed age-friendly footprints and bandwidth, because we will be looking to you to gather these participants for this multi-site trial, with community-based locations, which could be clinics, community centers or resource centers, and health systems. And then once we have potential partners, then we're also poised to develop the funding for the trial and evaluation costs. If this all sounds good to you, please connect with us, and we'll be happy to email you more information on the call for participation. And some of you here might have already replied to this call for participation, but now, thanks to you, Kathy, we're able to expand our call for participation to a bigger group of people. And if you're interested in the pilot report, we can also send that to you. So you can reach out to me or Leah or both of us. And I want to take this opportunity to thank this amazing team. I'm doing the speaking, but actually the work is done by an amazing group of people who are led by Leah Kaplan, Meltem Parlak, Bruce Chernoff, who I mentioned at the beginning, is the who was the CEO of the SCAN Foundation, who hired us in the first place, and is now retired, but our thought partner and strategic partner. And then I introduced Catherine Kidsman, and then Kathy Swartz from the Matsu Foundation. So, and for them and for myself, thank you so much for coming today. I know you're incredibly busy, and for making time. Some of you moved your calendar to make time. Thank you very much for coming today to hear about this beautiful work that we've embarked on. So now I'll come out.
Well, I want to thank you for joining us. I mean, your work is always so inspirational and really heartfelt. And I know a lot of people are hearing this for the first time. So do you want to open it up to questions? You want to
That would be great. And the questions could be to me and to Leah, Meltem, and since we have the benefit of Catherine Kidsman, to her as well.
If you want to raise your hand or just take yourself off mute.
I see Catherine Hall's hand. And please feel free to put your questions into the chat as well. And Kathy, you can monitor it from there as
Sure.
well.
Go ahead, Catherine.
Hi. So I think like a publicist, I'm a publicist, so I find myself wondering, I have like thoughts that aren't necessarily logically connected, but this is what's coming up. How are you promoting this? Yeah, how are you promoting this? Are you going, as a publicist, I think this is so perfect for media interviews so that you can find the people that you need to train. It's an incredible program. I'm incredibly inspired by it.
Thank you. First of all, Catherine Hall, everyone, please connect with her on LinkedIn because she is an incredible publicist and has created bestsellers, right? And continues to do so. So Catherine, thank you for that question. And frankly, we were just saying with Leah and Meltem, right? This is the first time that we're going out publicly with this, sharing the program with you all. So the world premiere, thanks to Kathy Rowe, and we hope to continue. And we would love to have, your advice on how to take it and make this more public, definitely.
And is there a book? This should be, at some point, this needs to be a book.
Oh, please don't say that.
No, it's true. It lends itself. I mean, it has to be a book.
Because I'm laughing because
I know when things have to be a book. This will evolve into a book because it's such vital information. And I want to say something.
Please.
During COVID, I'm a renter. I've always been a renter. It enables me to move around and take all my stuff with me. I lost my house in the middle of COVID that I had lived in for 15 years. My landlord decided to sell my house. There was no housing left in Northern California. So what did I do? I moved to New Mexico, where I knew absolutely no one. And I'm now 82 years old. So I so identify with this because it's challenged me to meet people. Fortunately, I have skills and I have met people, not as many as I wish, but so I'm kind of like a prime target for this from the personal perspective. And the last thing I want to say is New Mexico is such a good place to implement this program. It's incredibly impoverished. There would be excellent resources for health communities that could help this get off the ground. It's something that's on my mind at the moment because I just had an ER experience in New Mexico. And I actually was going to write to Aisha because I got into this whole thought of how you could redesign ER rooms because it was such an appalling experience. I thought Aisha must have some ideas, and then I contacted Dr.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So
no, I just wanted to say first of all, why did I laugh? Because I think we totally agree with you. This could be a book, but the Long Life book got written because somebody said that to me during COVID. Based on the SCAN Foundation work, they said, this should be a book. And every time I hear that, I'm like, okay. And, but thank you. I really hear you on that and take that as a compliment. Hold on.
I see Marilyn has her hand up.
Yeah, I see Marilyn, and then I see also Jack Gelman. So, yeah. Marilyn, you want to go first?
Thank you so much for sharing this amazing work with us. It is so impressive and so encouraging to hear how social isolation, loneliness is being addressed from such a creative perspective. I was just curious about how you might envision this working with older adults who may be, because of illness or infirmity, whether that's situational or long-term, unable to physically get together with other people, and whether you see a role for a space where this could be done virtually with older adults who are homebound and very limited in their activity. Yeah, and I
That's
also wanted to let you know
wonderful
that
question.
the other thing I wanted to let you know is that there is a PBS documentary primarily focused on Robert Butler's work in gerontology, where they highlight a geriatric emergency room. I don't remember what state it's in, but that is, thank you, Julia. That is currently being done. It's yeah, somebody just responded in the chat that it's St. Joseph's Hospital. But yeah,
Great.
that was my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Leah, do you want to take that question or shall I answer it?
I mean, I think, you know, I'm shaking my head, but of course you can answer it. I think we're thinking the same thing, which is absolutely yes.
Yes. Marilyn, during COVID, and some of our friends here have participated in these virtual teas that we've done online. And we've learned how to practice our tools online with people joining in across the globe. And so absolutely, if people have a connection and ability to connect to technology, we can definitely take them through this process or teach someone else to how to do it. The other thing is in terms of physical limitations. When we did a similar version, like one of the first versions of this work with Amazon, it wasn't the same thing, but it was teaching people how to design their life 60 plus. We did it at a nursing home, and we found that people are absolutely like extraordinarily creative, even if their physical situation doesn't allow them to do a lot of things. And some of them came with their aides, but were very active and wonderfully present. So the only thing that would be difficult is we do want to have people participate once a week for 4 months. And after that, it could, to teach them the basics. So that regularity is important to us. And the rest of the team, because what happens is the group becomes like a design team and they work together, right?
Yeah, our program in Camden, New Jersey would be very interested. We would be very interested in having a conversation with you. And we are connected with a health system, which is Rowan Virtua, which actually has an institute on successful aging. So I would love to talk to you more about a possibility of connection.
I can connect you guys.
Wonderful.
Yeah. That would be great.
And
Mary.
Leah lives in New Jersey, so.
Oh, even better. Thank you.
I know. That's why Kathy and Leah have been spearheading the New Jersey front here.
Yes, we meet
Thank
up,
you,
Marilyn.
Kathy
I
and
would
Leah.
happily come to see you and talk to you.
That would be wonderful. Thank
have
you.
5 more minutes. So Kathy, I think you wanted to ask Jack and Stephanie.
Yeah, you have your hands up. Thank you for being patient.
Well, thank you. It's so nice to see Aisha and Leah and Meltem again. Wonderful work that you're doing and so impressive. I'm going to put on my business hat for a minute, if I may, which I do too often anyway. But as I hear about this, what's coming to me as a business type is that you're about to roll out and launch a program which needs an organization and a structure. And I'm curious what you're doing to achieve those kinds of things, because this is a standalone, wonderful, empathetic product. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
First of all, thank you so much. It's so good to see you and Stephanie. We need to continue our meetups, but thank you for bringing that up. And I think that's probably our phase 3, and we would love to talk to you about that because I'm sure you have some ideas. But phase 1 was the pilot. Phase 2 is the multi-site formal trial, which will take us. Catherine will can speak to this, but probably a year and a half, 2 years to gather the kinds of information. And our plan is once we have that going, then we do need to create the business plan for this. And so right on, but we're not there yet. Our immediate goal is to find a community partner and then get the funding partner and set this up for success for a year and a half long multi-site trial.
Well, thank you. Well, Stephanie,
What I'm hearing here is that there's a business, is what I'm hearing from you.
Yes, there is. And Stephanie and I would love to participate down here in Virginia. We live in a community which has a demographic that's suitable and a health system that's suitable. And Stephanie, among other things, heads up the innovation lab at William and Mary as an advisor. And this is something that they need to know about too.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yes, so
Aisha, I just put in the chat,
we'll
are we
connect
gonna get a
everyone.
copy of this?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Deborah Levin with the Center for Health Design, and those who don't know us, Aisha sits on our advisory board. We are a nonprofit that does work globally around how the built physical environment impacts outcomes in healthcare. And I'd love to share this with our RAIN group, which is this group of providers and solution providers and designers and architects who are all trying to create environments that really give older people the best quality of life wherever it is that they're living. And so I think that there are many people in that network who might also be a good connection. So I just wanted to make sure we get it, and then it's okay to share it with them all.
Yeah. Deborah, where are you based?
San Francisco Bay Area.
Oh, okay. Wow, we have people from all over. I didn't realize people on the West Coast were coming. We could have made it later in the day.
It has been a while. We should go back to that.
We even have Sophie here, who's joining from Paris. And then Kyoko, I don't know if she's still here, but she joined from Japan. So there might be others, but those two I know. And so Sophie leads work in Paris in training corporations, right? Sophie, you should just mention what you do, please.
Hello, yes, that's right. I am a consultant in sustainability development, and I'm working on the happy aging. And I'm organizing works for levelization for companies, so that companies could say that when you work inside the company, you will age gracefully. That's right, Aisha? Is it good?
Yeah, and that's a beautiful idea. So yeah. And Kyoko is doing she has launched a program with museums, right, Kyoko?
Yeah.
That's not limited limited to aging, but it's around using art and museums for making social connections.
Wow.
Yeah. Aisha, before jumping, please remind again the report. We have the report, and if anyone is interested, they can reach out to us, to me as well. I'm going to put, and that will give more depth of the work that we have done and we can continue the conversation from there.
Great, thank you. And everyone, if you know someone who wasn't here today but could be a great partner who would like to have the call for participation, please email us as well or let Kathy know. And we're really, this is the first step of, taking the idea public. So thank you for being here and for the privilege of sharing the idea with you for Design Connections.
And thank you so much, not just for this work, but our goal is to bring it to New Jersey. We have not only a national, but apparently an international audience today. We are all aging, so this applies to everyone everywhere. And we will send out the recording, if not today, tomorrow, and I'll send the information on how to get the report. People can always reach out to me to connect to Aisha and her team, but we really appreciate this. And again, when we talk about loneliness and social isolation, and we finally recognize the impact that it has on our health, the importance of it, but it's so hard to think of, how do I get started and what do I do? And I think this is just a fantastic tool and program to help us start on that journey. And I really appreciate the work you did on it, and hope to talk to you all again very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy, for bringing us together.
Thank you so much. You're such a wonderful supporter. Thank you so much.
All right,
everyone.